Well, it's turning into be a cloudy Sunday day here. I want to get through all the videos, though. I want to make sure that... Hi, Ollie. I want to make sure that everybody gets updated on all their horses. So let's get to the race horses. How'd they do this week? Obviously, the Meadows was down, so we had the better portion of our races from the week before. Addie, down, honey. The better portion of our races from the week before were not on last week, but that didn't stop our horses from racing well. I was really happy with a number of them. Let's get to them right now. All Gas No Brakes was an easy winner. His first start at the Meadows looked great. You know, I was very it was uplifting to talk to James. He schooled him the other day. We sent him home to Ontario. He didn't get in on the Thursday or the Friday, but did go to school. He is going to race next week, and James schooled him, which was every bit as important. I wanted to make sure that James got a feel for him, just to see if he felt the way I did about him. And he said, man, the horse trained like a monster. He was really, really happy with the way All Gas No Brakes looked. So that is uplifting. Atlas Hanover coming off a great first start at Scioto. Somebody said, Anthony, he's not in this week. Well, they moved to Dayton. He is in to go this week at Dayton. So excited to watch him race and see how he does moving forward. Divine Zeddy is the horse I'll be watching this week also. I thought that mare's first race was really impressive, and I was interested to see how she'd bounce back with her second one. Yes, she made a break down by the wire, but looked like she was trotting very, very well in the miles, so excited to see how she races this week. Greatest Ending, a lot of time off to fix up that foot. You know, he does have bad feet, and this may not be the last time we have to deal with his foot issues, but it will be the last time for a while, and I believe so. Anyway, I don't want to jinx myself, but Greatest Ending, 2 sharp qualifiers at Saratoga. He's in to go. Now they did put him in the Open, so it is going to be, you know, he's going to need a race or two to get back into top shape. But by all accounts, both Melissa and Mark said the horse has trained good, looked good, and is coming into the Tuesday race as sharp as he can be. How the Hell is in to go Wednesday. That horse will, I guess I jumped over H.L. Ballou. We're still looking to move H.L. Ballou. I wanted to get lots of weight on him, both on his feet and his belly, and shop him off to some of the roadsters. He is a pretty sharp-gated stud black stallion, so he should be pretty interesting to a number of people. Just the right person at the right time. It will be, and is timing in many cases, especially with this guy. How the Hell is in to go Wednesday. Will he be a little short? Probably. Yep, he'll probably be a little short, but I think most horses in there will be. They all missed a week and a bit. He's got some work into him. I Forbid You should be in to go this week. She was also eligible before the short break at the Meadows, and now she will be in this week. I know Tim said he trained everybody up yesterday or the day before. I don't remember him saying or stating I Forbid You specifically, but he said everybody trained well. There were no concerns. The only concern he had was maybe reintroducing Cupid Express to Lasix, which I thought she was on Lasix anyway. So, yeah, that was a hard yes. J.K. Mickey Mantle, apparently he trained well. He's going to be in to go this week also. J.K. Victory is coming off a bunch of sharp performances and then got roughed up in his last one, parked the whole way, but still snagged a 4 or a 5 even in that mile. So we'll see how he races in the coming weeks, but he's been racing great all summer. Looks like Money. Oh, I got to call Doyle after this, Patty, and see what she can get. Looks like Money back home. He's ready to go back to air. He's now not ready to go back to training, but he has been treated, and he is ready to go back to Harry's now. Renegade Gypsy was a little sick. Patty Bear. Looks like Renegade Gypsy was a little sick his last start, so he's got to bounce back in his next outing, hopefully. Resolute Bay, Harry told me, I think he said 212 or 215 he trained him in the jog cart, so he'll be ready to go soon. I'm going to say he's probably ready to school in 2 weeks, but I'm not positive. It'll be soon. The timing should be good for Resolute Bay and Locatelli to get back moving. Now we're moving into almost October. This should bring them through the fall, into the winter, through the spring. If they stay sound, stay sharp, and everything seems good, it should be the timing should be perfect for these two horses. Serious Dragon, a little flat, lost a shoe last night, but a little flat last night. James said he was really good the week before, a little flat last night, so they scoped him. There wasn't a whole lot found in the scope, but that doesn't mean that he wasn't a little bit under the weather. Probably draw some blood on him and see what that says this week. He wasn't horrid. He just wasn't as good as I thought he would be, and I think James felt the same. Yo Mister. Again, I'm jumping over horses here. 3 Point Blue Chip. Again, the same. He's just in mile work until they get him back in training. I haven't heard from Tom, Julie, or Andy yet about him going into training. I suspect it will be somewhere around Harrisburg, I would imagine, when they start bringing everybody in. He'll come in also. Yo Mister. Looked a little off his last start. They had something bothering his foot, an abscess or a quarter crack. Stacy had said he had a foot that was bothering him. He had some heat in it. You could see it in his gait. I'm sure he's cleaned up now. There didn't seem to be any issues that I was told by Stacy, so I suspect he'll be right back in to go. I know that King will also. Good as him, now back jogging. He's not training yet, I don't think. Eh? No, not training. Soon. When he'd hurt himself last year, our plan was to have him ready to go in November, and that plan is absolutely in place still. He looks great. I saw him after his workout the other day. The horse looked great in the stall. They got him in great shape. Locatelli, I think he said 210, 2.8, I think he told me the other day. So he's getting very, very close to getting to the races also. No Free Lunch was great. Man, I thought he was a winner. Just got beat a whisker in 49-4, 26 and a piece on the end of it. So obviously No Free Lunch is bouncing back nicely now. You're starting to see now when a horse gets injured at that level, it takes time, right? It's taken quite a time to get No Free Lunch back to where No Free Lunch was in the winter. But now it appears that he's back on that path and looking very, very good. Think of Galaxies will be in to go this week. I have talked to Mark about going to drive at the Meadows. We do have Spitfire Overseas in the, what's it called? The Keystone. That's right, Keystone Classic. We do have Spitfire in the Keystone Classic this week. So I said, if you want to go drive him, I would appreciate it if you went to drive him. And if you're there, I can't be there. Patrick the Piranha, Think of Galaxies, and Stay Close. All those horses won the Open last week, and they'll all be back in. So a little different crew than he drove the week before. And hopefully they do get in. I mean, they have to fill those classes first. So hopefully they do get in. Hopefully he can come down to drive them. I'd love to see that. Mark had spent I think he might have driven Think of Galaxies many times in her 2 and 3 year old career. So he's driven her a lot more times than I have. But I don't know if he's ever seen her as good as she is right now. She is lights out fantastic right now. The week off, definitely a good thing for her. B. Lisa is in to go at Northfield. They didn't have a class this week for her, but we did get her back. Now she does have the hobbles off. She is off Lasix. So that's a feather in our cap, I believe. Let's see how she races. Let's see how she races at Northfield Park this week. Now, we did take the hobbles off. We did lighten her up quite a bit. She was running in a little bit, so we may have to add some additional equipment to her on the inside for this week's race. But, man, I thought she was okay the other day, but Mark portrayed her quite a bit better than what I saw on the track. He thought she raced rather well. So we'll see how she bounces back this week. Oakwood Cowboy. I talked to Dominic. He'd scratched his eye. I forgot about that. He and I talked about it. He's been back jogging about 10 days now, and I'd said, why don't we just hit the reset button with Cowboy? Just give him a few weeks in the field, let him completely reset, decompress, come back in, and just start with a fresh slate. We know there's speed. We know there's talent. How are we going to keep him off the wheel? He's hitting that wheel. How are we going to do that first and foremost? Secondly, what does his winter look like? What do we do with the fall and the winter of Oakwood Cowboy? At this point, I don't really want to try and move him. I think we're only looking at 30 cents on the dollar if we try and sell him right now. And there is a sound, big, strong horse there. So why don't we just wait, rest him, bring him back, hit reset, and continue on the way we wanted to. I think that's probably what we're going to do with Oakwood Cowboy. Stay Close has been absolutely fantastic, and actually that's a great segue to take your time, because Stay Close was, again, a horse with talent that just had the exact same thing, actually. Had an eye issue, was kind of flattened out, didn't really look as good. People dumping shares. It was just a dumpster fire for a while of shares to Stay Close, and I told everybody, good horses, they usually bounce back. You just got to move them around in such a place. They find their place where they're comfortable, sharp, and ready to move forward, then they will. And we certainly found that place with Stay Close, and it would be nice if we could find the same type of place with Oakwood Cowboy. So don't give up on him just yet. I think there's a good horse in there. We just have to find the right key for him. As I said, Stay Close has been amazing. The horse is just great right now on the top of his game. And then you look at a horse that last year was on his top of his game and kind of fell a little bit, and that was Kings County. We'll see how he bounces back over his next couple. I know that Brett had told me he caught a bell boot in his last start, so we'll see how he races his next start. Quan Blue Chip's a little quandary. I don't know, is he good enough? You know, was he over-advertised? Either way, I mean, even when we put him in for 15, it's not the end of the world. But I am a little perplexed as to why he was not quite as good as we hoped. So let's see. Let's see how he races this week. We'll see if he bounces back a little bit. White Tiger was amazing. I didn't realize that was pretty much the open for last week. A long shot. Took advantage of some breakers and ended up getting the job done. So good for him. Very happy for all my partners with the White Tiger group. He got a week off. We'll race him next week. Delicious Stone DK, keep an eye on this horse. I trained him by himself at Northfield the other day, and I thought the horse trained exceptionally well. He'll be in probably Friday at the Meadows. Now, we haven't moved him out of Northfield yet, because what if the class doesn't go at the Meadows? I don't want to ship him over to the Meadows only to ship him back. So we'll see this week what we do with Delicious Stone DK. Patrick the Piranha hopefully will be back in the Open again. I hope they fill the Open. I hope he gets a chance to beat them. Man, he was some kind of good his last start. 48-4 is a massive mile over the Meadows, and he looks some kind of good doing it. Per Lucky bounced out. He's going to race in Illinois and Indiana. He's Jim Eaton right now. My goodness. I forgot to tell you, we did buy a horse in Minnesota. Oh, I did tell you that last night. Mr. Pickle Wiggle. That's a great name. I got to change it, but it's such a great name. You can't change it, Mr. Pickle Wiggle? All right, I'll leave it.
What's his name? Is it Piggly Wiggly?
I don't know. I think it's Mr. Pickle Wiggle. I'm not sure. And I don't know anything about the horse. I don't know anything about the horse. All I know is that he's a Minnesota bred, that Dr. Rucker kind of spearheaded this campaign to buy a Minnesota bred, which I was okay with. And then Bob and Nick Lems were the ones that helped kind of pick everything out. Really, really happy with the job that the Lems did on Per Lucky. And as I said to Nick in a text message the other day, you know, before Minnesota starts next year, just tell me what you'd like to have, and we'll send some horses down there. Really happy, one, with the communication, two, with the way the horses raced, and most importantly, the way the horse looked. Jim Eaton called me after Per Lucky arrived. He said, "Oh my God, this horse is in amazing shape." When we had him, he was kind of skinny and tucked up, and looked a little stressed. Kentucky, Eric and Kathy did a great job with him. Didn't have all the luck we wanted to have with him in Oak Grove, but he was good, and he went to Nick Lems looking good, Nick and Bob looking good. And then when he ended up in Illinois, Jim had nothing but a glowing report for how the horse arrived at his barn. Said the horse looked amazing. So a great job by everybody involved with Per Lucky, quietly becoming one of our nicer, older campaigners this year. Took a dive off Dipper. He's getting close to being back ready going for Jim out in Illinois. And then Sintra is in Monday at Grand River. That's where he belongs, but he can't get in there all the time. Grand River's closing soon. You're going to see London and Flamborough, and you're probably going to see Sintra make a move somewhere. I've been talking about this for a while, and I just haven't got a chance to pull the trigger. And had he not gotten in at Grand River, we may have entered him at the Meadows or at Northfield. But for now, he'll race in Grand River on Monday, and then we'll get a look at what we're going to do with Sintra after Monday. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go. The race horses are all done now. I'm going to talk about the 3-year-olds and 2-year-olds. Be back in just a minute.